What's up, everyone? 3-6 on the boards. So, how's it going? Lots to talk about today. We're gonna review a chip.
Sorry about blowing your eardrums out. That was my fault. Go ahead. We're gonna be sharing what? I had to say I'm sorry real fast.
Oh, good. No one would probably notice. No one even knows what 3-6 on the boards means.
I actually didn't know that that's what it meant. That's how lame I am. I didn't even know. I was like, is he going to go 316? Is he talking about Stone Cold? I didn't know what you were talking about.
I totally made that up on the fly.
Did you? See, and you guys don't think that Godfrey's good at improv. He's great at improv.
Yeah.
What do we got? That's why fuck show prep. What do we got going on in the show?
We're going to review. Do you know what a charcuterie board is, or charcuterie board?
Yes, I've been seeing that a lot on the TikToks, all different kinds.
Well, we have charcuterie board chips.
What? That is not a thing.
Look, yeah.
You find the weirdest shit, dude.
Well, first off, let me say,
for everybody
how do they pack all the different flavors that are going on in here into one chip?
How would you describe? How do you say it? Say it again. A charcuterie board. A charcuterie. A cooter board. How would you explain that to somebody who doesn't know what it is?
It would be a board with assortment of cheeses and olives, pickles, mustards, type of toppings, some bread. There's different ones you could do. There's some impressive ones. They are popular during the holidays and for parties. You can buy them pre-made from a lot of places. Thanksgiving and the holidays is really popular around. Mm-hmm. But the definition of it is like eating ass. No, I'm just joking. All right. All right. It's appetizer typically served on a wooden board or stone slab, either eaten straight from the board itself or portioned on the flatware. Blah 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 blah. So, with that being said,
blah blah blah.
Yeah, you can show people what it looks like there's plenty of pictures on there.
You know what I'm afraid of doing?
Is Googling that?
Yeah, trying to spell it.
Okay. Well, there's this great thing called copy and paste, and I'm sending it to you in the chat.
Oh, thank you, dude.
The deep chat that nobody knows.
We couldn't the deep chat. We couldn't even. We can't even barely say it, let alone spell it. Put that in a spelling bee.
You could probably pull up one of those sound clips on YouTube. How do you say charcuterie?
I'm afraid to say that woman's name because she'll go off in the background. But yes, the A would let us know. They've got some interesting ones here. So this is what.
There you
go. This is what.
Here it is. I have it right here.
I have it right here. But here's what that bag of chips is saying. They've got all those flavors in there. And that is a board filled with meat and cheeses and nuts and spreads and crackers. Jesus.
Yeah, well, here, play this. You'll get it. People get a kick out of this. This is how you say it: charcuterie. Google this, Mike.
Yes,
and it will pop right up. You could play. I don't know if it will play off your computer. The sound should. It won't play off mine.
What do I? You send it to me?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Just Google. It'll come up.
You're a piece of shit.
Mexican Coca-Cola here.
Why do you go to like stores and you're just like, give me the weirdest shit you have?
Well, first off, that is the best Coca-Cola. My friend looked at me. We're out to dinner, and he's like, I asked the guy for Mexican Coca-Cola. I was in a Mexican restaurant. He looked at me like I was racist. I was like, dude, that's what it's called. Relax yourself. I'm like, yeah.
It's French.
Charcuterie.
I don't like how it's saying that.
So, do you know what it means in English?
What?
Delicatessen.
Charcuterie.
I guess it is French. Yeah, that is a French word.
Charcuterie.
Oh, if you keep playing it, she breaks it up a little bit more.
Charcuterie.
She says it there.
Charcuterie.
Yep, it changes it up. Google changes it up on you.
Smart. Yeah, but Mexican Coca-Cola is a thing. They use don't use fructose corn syrup. They use cane sugar. So it's in a bottle. So it's a thing. It is really a thing. People don't think it is, but it is. And usually, you can find it anywhere. To be honest, it's not that hard to find. Really, not
Just
that hard to
like
find.
Godfrey's penis.
Right. Anywhere. Somewhere someone's carrying it in a wheelbarrow.
Can I just give a call back real fast? So last week we talked about Christmas parties, and last week was my holiday Christmas party, where we talked about how there was no alcohol to be served. You know, and that was the norm at most holiday Christmas parties.
Oh, there was alcohol in mine. Oh, there was beer.
Yeah.
There was wine.
So I do want to give an update. So no alcohol. It was very hokey pokey. It was very corporate event. The food was good, but then everybody beelined it over to the bar where people were getting drunk. And you know, my beautiful fiance Laura was sweet enough to be my DD, and so I partook in a little extra drinking.
Double decker.
I was meeting higher ups and engineers and all this other stuff, and then the next morning, she looks at me and goes, "Mike, you gotta not talk so much and tell things so much when you're drunk. You got to be careful with what you tell people."
The audience agrees with Laura. Agrees with Laura.
And right away I went, "Don't tell me what I said. That was somebody else. I don't want to know." So it can be detrimental at some of these holiday parties. So just a little update on what we talked about. Again, still don't know what I said.
So, were you telling stories and did you hear this afterwards?
No, I didn't hear that.
Like an awkward 2-second silence?
I did notice people like stopped talking to me, like turned away.
Welcome to my life. Listen, you know, it depends, man. I think that's funny because people have certain tolerances for things, and when you're put in that setting, like, I think the real type of person that is a complete dick in a party setting is the type of person that you'll be telling a story to, and they'll just, in the middle of that story, walk away, like, cold, just like a cold cut, and they're out. That is like that's not even an Irish goodbye because with an Irish goodbye, you're like, "Where did they go?" That's like a "Fuck you. You're not interesting." Or, "I'm such a narcissist, you bore me, and I must leave. I must move on."
So there was one time, and I'll try to get through this real quick. Came out of my work. There was a tailgate going off in my parking lot for a country concert that was going on up the street. The country station puts on the XTU concert. Go outside next to my car. There's all these girls drinking. They say to me, "Hey, come over and do a shot." I went over and did a shot. Next thing you know, I'm sitting down drinking with them. They're able to get me a free ticket to the concert. We're drinking. We're having a great time. I'm getting shit-faced. We get into the concert. We get drinks. We sit down on a bench. I'm drinking. I turn my head to look at like the scenery, and when I turn back, they're all gone. All just dispersed. In my head, I don't know what I did. I don't know what I said. I don't know how creepy I came off. All just gone. Disappeared.
Mike was like, "Hey, thanks for the shot. I eat ass." They were like, "Oh." And they were out. Yeah, I mean, listen, everybody's had those moments, you know, especially the thing is you gotta be more tolerant when people are drinking or they might have been smoking or stuff like that. Because the funny thing is people that are like that, where they have short patience for people,
yeah,
they think that they're never like that. And when I find out you're that type of person, I'm gonna fucking remind you that your shit doesn't stink too, because there's tons of people like that. But there is a thing to be said for oversharing. My party at work was pretty awesome. They gave out prizes. We went bowling. You know, we had an open bar for 2 hours. No liquor, but there was wine, so that's close enough. You know, all kinds of beers. Um, Bunch of us went out afterwards. It's right in the city, so you know that was pretty kick ass. And you know, our VP was there, our director, and all that, or you know, head of marketing, and they were like enjoyed it. I actually had an ugly sweater thing going on, Santa peeing. I actually won an ugly sweater contest this weekend, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, you gave me a free shot for it. I didn't even know I was gonna win it. Won it, because it lights up. Santa's pee lights up. That's what makes it so special.
Oh,
yeah. You haven't seen that one?
I feel like I have.
It's battery operated, and he's on the roof, and he's just peeing.
Yeah, that's offensive.
Too big for me to show you, but it's
Oh,
on Tipsy Elves.
ladies, how many times have you heard that one?
The funny thing is, I wore that same sweater to the same party last year and lost, and I wore it this year and won.
That is
So
weird.
the bartender at the bar picked me. He said that he wins. I was like, "Yep, you have great taste. You'll also be getting a good tip. Thank you very much." But you know, so I'm just all about winning championships. That's all
That's
I can
it.
say.
That's it. We win, win, win all day.
I'm tired of winning.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about that. We'll come back to that chip later on, and we're gonna talk about Elon. I love him, but it just keeps getting more interesting. Um, and I have some notes here about it, and I kind of feel like the way he's gonna run Twitter is if someone was able to buy it that had crackpot ideas, that might be your drunk uncle. Um, and I'll explain, but he not really um doing things that are gonna promote free speech. And it's funny because the things that he's doing are things that a privately owned company would do. And now that he's head of it, it's okay, right? So the question is, when you get that power in your hand, how will you use it? With great power comes responsibility, Spider-Man's uncle said, Uncle Ben. So,
He also
are you
makes
gonna
great
listen to
rice.
yeah, are you gonna listen to Uncle Ben and eat his rice? Or are you gonna listen to your ego? So anyway, a lot of that was going on. Interesting stuff. My work party was pretty cool. Can't complain. Had a fun weekend. You know, uh, it was fun because weird stuff happened. Like, was at this party and I'm talking to this girl, trying to, get her number, and it's fun to read people's body language. And I'm out there, and out of the corner of my eye, all I hear is, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, there's this guy just throwing up hardcore 3 times in a row, and I think our group eventually got kicked out of the bar. Something happened, but I was already on my way to the next one, and I don't really get that shit-faced drunk. It's no fun, but some people do. They just don't know how to kinda spread things out, so I don't know. Kinda funny, but all I know is that that same person, this was about 3 to 4 in the afternoon. I went to a casino later that night, and I saw that same person in the same clothes standing next to his wife playing blackjack. I was like, I said
Nice.
to him, I said, "How are you alive?" He's like, "Lots of naps." Like, I'm talking like he was out at the bar, like, out. I'm like, "Shit,
What
we
what age
survived."
what age do you think is it a reasonable age to stop partying like that? What age do you think reasonable people stop benders on the weekend?
I don't know, what would Mick Jagger say?
Oh, Mick Jagger
Or
would say ride the fucking unicorn till the horn falls off.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, that's a good question. I think,
Or do you say screw it? You only live once. Fucking if it makes you happy, keep going. And there is no limit. There is no time to pull the cord to say enough's enough. Let's ease it down a little bit. What is your thoughts? And this goes for anything, not just alcohol. Lifting or
it's
any
always
kind
gonna
of
be a
extreme
party.
sport. Anything that you go extreme at. Is there a certain age that you should be like, I'm going to cut back on that? I mean, you're a big sports guy. In sports,
I think if
old
you can't
old in sports is like 35, like 30, 35. So
yeah.
that's early to be pulling that cord.
I
In a lot
think
of people's
if you
opinion.
can't listen, you have to be a professional drinker, okay? You gotta pace yourself if you're gonna do that. And what I mean pace yourself is you can't get fucked up so bad when you get older that the next 4 days, 3 days, or 2 days are shot,
Yeah,
right?
that does
That's
suck.
when that's when you gotta tone it down, right? When you're younger, you recover quicker, you're like, "I could just burn 2 days, I don't got shit to do," you
Right.
know? But when you're older, yeah, man, if you're mortgaging a couple days, like, if you do it on a Friday, maybe, but, like, time is valuable, right? So, to me, I hate being hungover because I don't wanna waste a day feeling like shit,
Yeah.
'cause I've done that, and
Growing up
you're
in the
like
60s and 70s and 80s, like that's what dads did. They drank a lot. all the way
Yeah.
till grandpa. Grandpa's sipping
Or
down
until they
on
got cirrhosis or some shit
the
like
cough
that.
syrup.
Yeah.
So you're saying once it starts interfering with days afterwards.
Yeah. Or, you get DUIs. Like I know someone that some people got alcoholism problems. If it's something that, it's just too much. I know someone that's going to jail because they've got 6 DUIs. They
It's
violate
funny you bring up
parole, go to jail.
DUIs. I have a controversial take on DUIs.
Oh boy, I'm afraid to even know where we're going
So
with this, but okay.
my controversial take is that wow, that wasn't my take. My controversial take is, and a lot of people don't like this, is just like you can do a driver's test for a car or a motorcycle or an 18-wheeler, they should have a drunk driving test. For certain individuals, they can reach certain levels of alcohol in their blood and drive perfectly fine, more so than others. The point which your driving ability is impaired so much, just like you were talking about, be conscious of your drinking and be weary of it and understand how to drink, a professional drinker. I think the same goes for drinking and driving. Now, drinking and driving, again, not a good idea. I do not condone it. But there is an asterisk there in the fact that everybody's body is different. Everybody's tolerance is different.
You said if you're Andre the Giant, you should have a higher tolerance.
Absolutely. But if you're a veteran at drinking, you're able to drive under more of an influence. Just like, okay, so weed. You get weed gummies, and somebody like me who doesn't smoke or doesn't eat edibles, I take a quarter of it and I'm fucking gone. Whereas other people can eat one full one or two full ones and go about their day. You know what I mean?
Man. That's a tough one. I feel like you got to err on the side of caution and kind of be more stringent than you might need to be, just because it's set up as a deterrent. But I hear what you're saying about the calculation of it. But it's I don't know if it's an exact science.
It's not going to be an exact science. You need to re-up your alcohol driving limit or whatever. That's going to like a scale on the back of your driver's license, like every year to see where you're at and where you're impaired at. I mean,
yeah.
Now
but
here's
the
catch. Here's the catch with this: you have to pay a premium. So this puts money back in the state. You have to pay a premium for them to put on this test. Maybe it's $500, maybe it's $1,000 a year that you're going to pay for this test.
I think some people will wear that like a badge of honor, like a scumbag. They're like, "Oh, I paid that premium. I'm good, bruh. Give me another 6-pack."
I paid that premium. I'm at a point, whatever. Yeah.
I think people will abuse that too. I think if you gave that option, I think there'd be people that would still go above that. I just, I feel like
they might look at it as like a goal, a goal to reach.
Sometimes people are like, "All right, well, I've had 2 drinks, I have 3 drinks. I think I'm there." I don't know, man. I think if you drive okay, you drive okay. I never condone drunk driving. But I wonder what the percentages are for people getting stopped for other reasons, and they didn't get stopped for possible drunk driving. The classic is expired registration, inspection, taillights that are out.
I got pulled over one time leaving a bar, and I know this is early 20s. I know I shouldn't have been on the road. Car full of drunk people. Cop pulls me over as I left the bar a little bit ago. I'm riding up the street. Cop pulls me over. We're all freaking out in the car. Everybody's, that feeling. Everybody knows that feeling. The cop, the lights go on. Fuck, you look in your rearview mirror. You start panicking. You know that you're drunk. And he pulls you over and he comes up to my window. I roll it down. "Hello, sir. How you doing?" He says, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to tell you your headlights are off. You might want to turn those on." Goes back to his car and drives away. Best feeling in the fucking world when you drive away. Your heart's fucking pounding after that one.
Do you think you were over the limit?
I don't.
You under 21?
No, I was over 21. I was in my early 20s, but over 21. I believe I was probably over the minimum limit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess he wasn't alerted to that. Good for him, I guess, and, hopefully he didn't hit anybody.
No, good for me. Good for me.
Yeah, you got away with one there.
See, that's why if I paid that premium, I'd be good.
I've been in some sticky situations like that, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That'd be a tough one to get past. But speaking of different and controversial, play that video I sent you.
Which one? You sent me two. You can't just say play that one.
The last one. Play the first minute.
The
Elon
first
Musk.
minute of the one you love these two people, by the way. This website Breaking Points is Godfrey's pick of the year because he loves these.
They're very good at doing news that isn't someone carrying a political party's water. To give you an honest opinion.
Now, before we play it, it's queued up, and the people at home watching can see that it's queued up. But before we play it, is this in any way, shape, or form, can this be compared to other news agencies that aren't, quote unquote, the mainstream news? So like Newsmax or something like that. Would this be compared to that, or is this better?
Newsmax likes to spin fiction. These guys don't. So the difference between these guys and a Newsmax is you can get a lot of their clips free on Twitter. I'm not Twitter, YouTube. And you can also subscribe to them yearly, which I do.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the unedited, unfiltered. And they're good for news because it's a subscription-based model where they're not beholden to advertisers on that platform. And they actually were on a YouTube channel called The Hill, which is a political show, and they left for this reason to start their own.
All right,
their own channel, which they're both the main owners of it.
I think that myself and the audience appreciate that little rundown of them because I mean you do go to these people a lot, so understanding where you're going, where your source
I would check
is
them out.
interesting.
I would check them out. The girl on the right is Crystal Ball, and Cigar. He's a Republican. He's on the gentleman there. The girl is more of a Democrat, but they don't kiss anybody's ass. They'll criticize their own party, and their own opinion is theirs. It doesn't feel like they're pushing a narrative. I don't always agree with them, but I do like how they cover it, and I've been watching them for a while. So that's part of the reason I do this. Use these guys as a source because they're not putting their own spin on it or pushing someone's agenda.
All right, so this is a clip from Breaking Points with Crystal and Cigar. And is it Cigar? Like a cigar? Okay. And we'll check it out right now. Let's see.
Close enough. But he's good. Yeah. We're gonna show you the booing of Dave Chappelle at San Francisco. Dave Chappelle
performing at the
Elon
Chase
Musk.
Center in San Francisco. Decides to bring Elon Musk on stage. Let's just say the results were unexpected for Mr. Musk. Let's take a listen.
I don't want to hurt you. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the richest man in the world. Cheers and booze, I see.
Weren't expecting this, were you?
It sounds like some of them people you fired are in the audience.
Oh.
Oof. Oh, that is a vicious booing. Also, just so you know, the original account that tweeted out that video was deleted off of Twitter. Nobody knows why. We'll see as to whether Musk himself is a little bit sensitive about that. I mean, look, it probably sucks to get booed by thousands of people. That said, I don't really know why it would have been a good idea for him to go on stage in San Francisco. Like, we're talking here about, first of all, who can afford to go to a Dave Chappelle in downtown San Francisco? Obviously, only.
Yeah, I mean, so San Francisco, for point of reference, is not far from the tech world, which he's in now, and he's fired a bunch of people. So it is quite feasible there might have been people in that audience. And Elon just strikes me as a guy that doesn't operate as a normal CEO and just wants to be liked by everyone. But it's just kind of funny. Lately, he's been going after what he calls leftists, and he tried to blame people in the audience for booing him that are all, they're leftists in the audience. He tweeted that. And it's just kind of funny that he has such an old boomer take like that, because a lot of those lefties that he's coming after are the ones buying his fucking car.
Yeah.
Don't you see all the righties doing all the plume stacks and blowing smoke by a Tesla as they run by and harassing them? So it's just It's interesting. So he got booed.
Would you mind being booed by an audience of that size? Would you mind it? I wouldn't. And if I was Elon Musk, I wouldn't give two flying fucks.
Well, I wouldn't because of what I do, but I think he does because he's not really an entertainer, right?
You think he does? You think being up there and hearing it, you think that it affected him negatively?
Well,
you think he's somebody who wants to be loved?
The video was mysteriously deleted off Twitter. I mean,
I don't. Whatever that was, right? So mysteriously, okay.
Yeah,
but
people were able to rip it before it got taken down.
For somebody like Elon Musk, who takes so much shit on a daily basis, especially recently, and for how much of a troll he is, I don't think he would mind. I don't think that he would care. He's on stage with fucking Dave Chappelle. Like, I don't think that he would really care.
I just don't. I think he doesn't really have good. I don't think he really has a good. Because remember, he was on SNL the one time. I don't really think he has a good barometer about how people are feeling about him right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really don't. I think he really thinks he should be better liked, and like he wants to play the victim, and I just kind of think, hey man, we make our own bed. You know, I mean, listen. Now that he's got the reins of Twitter, he didn't reinstate Alex Jones, he reinstated Trump. But at the end of the day, if you're really about free speech, say you reinstate everyone, right? The problem is that a lot of these social media platforms will manipulate who gets seen more. Right here, I'll give you another one.
Okay.
He did a shadow ban on the account that used to track his jet. That's been exposed.
That has been?
Yep.
Now is
is
that is that an actual security risk?
No, he just doesn't like it. I mean, everybody else has it going on Twitter.
Like, what are they doing? So I'm not up to speed with the account that tracks his jet. Are they posting real time accounts and updates as to where his jet is?
Yeah, but you could do that really if it's public knowledge when you could look that up, like for almost any passenger plane.
But you could agree that there is a difference between looking it up and having somebody that posts where you could get notifications as to where his jet is at any given moment on any given day at any given time.
Yeah, but he wants the free flow of information.
But you do understand the difference of a security risk of a place that you have to go and search it out, rather than somebody who's posting on social media where you can get notifications of it moving.
Sweeney runs more than 30 plane tracking accounts that share publicly available data. That's the guy's name. Jack Sweeney shared messages that appear to show the account was subject to visibility filtering. The Twitter user that tracks Elon Musk's private jet says his account has been shadow banned. So, it's publicly available. It's pretty easy to get. You don't have to dig for it either. And the reason why I notice is I used to download an app when I used to Uber, and it would tell me when planes were coming in because you wanted to get rides from the airport. Usually they paid more or better than other rides as an Uber driver. So usually a good tip, et cetera, et cetera. So you could see literally all the planes coming in, flight numbers, all that stuff. Because, you can't just fly naked in the air. You got to announce yourself to the air traffic controllers, right? They know who's landing and who's not, unless you're like a secret super military, at the Shane. By the way, the military knows those people are up in the air. So you can't go in the air. No one knows. But, it's just interesting. So in a thread, Tweeny dumped my Twitter files because, the Twitter files. He claimed anonymous Twitter employee informed him that his Elon Jet account was visible. By the way, there's going to be tons of leaks in his organization because people secretly hate him. And there's people who couldn't quit because they were here on a work visa. So, yeah. He also shared what appeared to be an internal Twitter message from Ella Irwin, Twitter's new head of trust and safety, requesting that Elon Jet be subjected to heavy visibility filtering. Wow, how interesting is that when we have the power to do it? When we will come down on others. Now, I still have the still have the stance that it's a private company, they could do what they want. But, what he has exposed and people are exposed, and we've already noticed, is the algorithm manipulates what people can and can't see. I say, if you really want it to be free, get rid of the algorithm altogether. Don't have an algorithm.
I
Let
don't,
organically what's going to be popular show up.
Godfrey. I know you're not going to like this. You're not going to like what I'm about to say, but I do not agree that this guy's account that is posting, again, I'm not as up to date as you are on this account, but Elon at Elon Jet, which is verified, which is funny. It says tracking Elon Musk private jet.
Paying $8 a month.
8N6282 TS with a bot using public 8. So he's using a bot to track this, because I 100% agree. Nobody in their right mind is going to constantly keep tabs on this and track it nonstop. So
this is where this kid made a mistake.
He himself, but I just want to say this: he himself is got a bot that's doing this and posting it regularly. Now, all I have to do is subscribe, follow this guy, and turn on notifications. And anytime Elon Musk's jet takes off or lands, I'm going to get a notification. I feel that to track one man's comings and goings like this
You don't think we should have bots that is allowed to do that?
Is in fact a security risk. I think that is.
Is it a security risk for them to sell our data off and know every move we make or every dick we want to look at?
100%. I will always be against that. If you have a good enough product, promote it, advertise for it, and people will find it. If it's good enough, I 100% am against that as well.
Seems like what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander in this thing. He doesn't like it, but he wants to profit off other people's data. Doesn't like his data being put out there. That's what I think.
Well, social media outlets, and we've said this before. If it's free to you, then you're the product.
So he feels naked. Elon feels naked. Well, listen. He said to him, he feels like it's a security risk. Where I think this kid made a mistake is Elon offered to buy it from him, and I would have sold it to him. I would have sold out. I would have took the cash, because I would have said to myself, how long will this last? Will this turn into more money? Will this count eventually fade and that people not give a shit? And now his worst nightmares happen. The guy who wanted to shut his account down now owns the fucking company.
Mm-hmm.
So he should have took that money.
Well,
I would have.
In retrospect, that is definitely something that you look and go, damn it.
He should have took that money.
Yeah.
He should have took that money.
Absolutely.
I would have 100%, because you literally just made that money for literally building nothing except using a bot. Literally. So, but I just bring it up. I don't disagree with that. I just think that, he champions things not being filtered out, things being more transparent. And that's not what he cares about, because the thing about it is this. If you're okay with things he was doing, but you weren't okay with the other people that were in, then you're a hypocrite. You're not upset at the behavior. You're just upset at who's doing it and what they're saying. And that's the truth of the matter. A lot of people don't want to admit that. It means they're full of shit. Because at the end of the day, what I think he wants to do, I think he wants to control the news. Because a lot of people get Twitter or get news from Twitter. And why do they do that? Well, Twitter had a blue check mark system, and they were able to verify that the information was true because of who it was coming from. Now they have a new system in, and it's becoming more convoluted, and it may make sense, it may not, but I'll tell you what it is. So they relaunch it. Relaunches Twitter Blue with a subscription that includes check marks. Twitter relaunched its Twitter Blue subscription service on Monday, where users can pay a monthly fee for a blue checkmark, along with the ability to edit tweets, which I think is awesome, by the way. I applaud that. There's something that is long overdue. Also reportedly increasing it to 4,000 characters. I think that kind of, I don't know, that kind of ruins the idea of Twitter, in my opinion, but that's okay. So, to edit tweets and upload high-quality video, the company said that most new features would be immediately available to subscribers. But when an NPR reporter tried early Monday afternoon, most features were not available. Wonder why. Sounds like he has a lack of engineers. Sounds familiar. A hard time getting production going and vehicles off the line. Interesting. Sounds like a repeat of a story at a certain company. Wonder what company that is. Anyway, hours after the relaunch, Twitter disbanded its Trust and Safety Council, exacerbating concerns about new owner Elon Musk's approach to protecting the platform's users. The outside group of civil rights and human rights organization, which advises Twitter on issues from hate speech and child exploitation to mental health and suicide prevention, was scheduled to meet on Monday with Twitter executives, including the company's new head of trust and safety. Less than an hour before, they received an email announcing the council's dissolution, according to several council members who requested anonymity because of concerns of retaliation. Of course, you work for Elon Musk. As Twitter moves into a new phase, we are reevaluating how best to bring external insights into our product and policy development work. As part of this process, we have decided that the Trust and Safety Council is not the best structure to do this. The email signed by Twitter. Right. These moves are the latest by Musk away from policies and procedures the company has spent years developing to curb problems on the platform from harassment and abusive spam. So here's the thing about that. There are other, does it become 4chan? I don't know. We'll see. Hope it doesn't. Because that's where they could be headed. But Twitter's more expensive on Apple, so Apple makes 30%, so they're charging you 11 for your blue check mark. If you have an Apple device, sucks for you guys. 8 for Android.
Android can suck a fat one.
Apple generally levies a 30% commission on in-app transactions processed through Apple's App Store, which it appears Twitter is passing on to its subscribers.
One thing that you said about Elon Musk changing stuff up, I'll always 100% be in favor of the edit button. Not necessarily
the edit button. I'm with that. Yeah.
Not necessarily the more characters, because you're right. Trying to be creative and squeeze into small characters and not having a post that's the size of your phone is a draw. Is a draw for Twitter. I hate when I hit the more button on Facebook and it spans out. It's 3, 5, 10 paragraphs long. I just skip right by it. Being able to minimize it to that is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Musk has also claimed since his role with Apple was resolved. It's not resolved. Tim Cook told you to go fuck yourself. And you're passing it on to customers. Nothing got resolved. He said, well, don't have it on the App Store. And you realize that you need their App Store to exist and make transactions. So you pass it on to customers. Don't lie. What a fucking liar. So gold and gray check marks are also added now to blue. Twitter has introduced a color-coded system for people. Companies and governments, gold is for companies, gray for governments, and blue for individuals. Gray marks will be available later this week. Rather than simply giving blue check marks to all individual subscribers, Twitter says there is a process, or as Twitter project manager Esther Crawford put it in a tweet this past weekend, a review step before applying a blue check mark to an account as one of our new steps to combat impersonation. Now, here's the thing about this. So they're trying to generate revenue, and I've seen this happen before. Where does the fiscal responsibility meet the moral responsibility? And do you get to a point where you have to generate revenue and you say, behind closed doors, prove everybody
yeah. Mm-hmm.
$8 a month. And that's exactly what will fucking happen. And I know it will. And I've seen it. And people won't say it out loud, but it's a very slippery slope. And here's the thing. Twitter, is kind of a public square. But a lot of people rely on Twitter for news, right? And so I think his ultimate goal is he wants to control the flow of the news, right? I guarantee you'll see things that will come out sooner or later. You heard it here first, 12/13/22, that he's shadow banning negative articles about Tesla or SpaceX. I guarantee someone will leak it, and it will happen. We're looking into the future right now. I'm in a DeLorean, and I'm telling you the flux capacitor is spitting that out. So,
ew.
This is not that kind of spin. This is about this isn't about face for the company. Before Musk bought Twitter in October, the blue check mark signified the company had a verified user's identity. When Musk first attempted to include blue check marks as part of the subscription, Twitter was flooded with fake accounts. We all remember that, and that was great. Thank you for that comedy, Elon. Advertisers, politicians, even Musk himself were impersonated. The chaos forced the billionaire to put the service on pause after just 2 days. Twitter acknowledges the confusion on its help page. Now the blue check mark may mean two different things. Either that an account was verified under the previous verification criteria, active and authentic, or that an account has an active subscription to Twitter Blue. When Musk first conceived of the plan to let people buy the once coveted restricted blue check marks, he was met with internal resistance from Twitter's trust and safety experts. Of course he was. Because why? It's work. But he doesn't really have a real solution, so he's got to somehow try to make it different. They feared the move would be weaponized by those looking to spread disinformation, including repressive regimes hoping to dismantle propaganda. Right. See, the thing about Elon, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve his money, but what people have to stop doing is he doesn't feel the same way you do. He doesn't go through the same everyday battles you do. He doesn't think about paying his car insurance bill. He doesn't think about paying his mortgage because he's one of the richest people in the fucking world. So his thoughts and what he goes through every day is totally different. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad person for that, but you don't relate to this guy. Don't think your struggle is anything remote to his. Please. Because if you're doing that, you're fucking delusional. They feared the move would be weaponized, as I was saying. So must ignore them, of course. Twitter's trusted safety team, like others at the company, have been gutted through layoffs and resignations. The dissolution of the advisory council on Monday represented a further step away from the rules and policies. See, I'm all about reform, but when you gut something completely without something to replace it, it's going to leave a gaping hole, right? So to me, if I'm in a leadership position and I may not like how they're operating, I'm not going to gut it. I'm going to change how it works, right? But okay, some people are different. Of course, my dog's under my desk trying to fuck with my wires.
You didn't use the peanut butter again, did you?
Yeah. So, no peanut butter. But, Musk views Twitter Blue as part of the mission to make money on the platform in ways other than advertising. So, see, what he wants to do is he doesn't want to be beholden to the advertisers. And I respect that to a certain extent. But how much do you think the advertising accounts for in Twitter's revenue?
Oh, a lot. Especially when you're talking about big corporations.
90%.
Yeah. When you start
90%.
When you start going up to corporations and talking about brands like Pepsi and Walmart and Wawa and all these top name brands, you're talking in the millions.
Yeah, so Musk views, Twitter has struggled to grow its service with the way larger competitors. So basically, but since his chaotic reign began in late October, major advertisers have been fleeing in droves. Like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok have, and even before Musk took over, the company's advertising business has been far from robust. Musk has floated bankruptcy as a possible option for Twitter. Do it. He has said before an account can receive a check mark if it will be manually verified through. He has not fully explained how the process will work. Twitter has spelled out some new criteria for the Twitter Blue, including having an account older than 90 days. And that's interesting. Having a phone number that the company can confirm. Pretty sure shit like that was already in there. In addition, the company says if a subscriber changes their handle, display name, or photo, they will temporarily lose their check mark until the profile authenticity is confirmed. Well, that seems kind of archaic, but okay, fine. Musk on Monday tweeted that everyone who previously received a verified blue check would, in a few months, be stripped of it, writing that the way in which they were giving it out was corrupt and nonsensical. Okay. So he's saying that about the previous regime. I don't know. I think, he just wants to control everything. So, and that's fine. He bought it. Do it. But Twitter has not answered questions about whether it still has the resources to take on such a daunting task after laying off more than half the company's staff. With a reduced workforce, it remains to be seen if it will be possible to prevent fraud, impersonation, and scams their new identity verification methodology. Rachel Tobach, the CEO of cybersecurity firm Social Proof Security, previously told NPR scammers will quickly determine how they can overwhelm and manipulate the identity verification system. You can authenticate it as the entity they are not. I agree with her. Twitter, which no longer has a communication staff. Imagine that. A social media company without a communication staff did not respond to a request for a comment. They're not there.
Nice, of course.
So, I mean, listen. I just want people to realize that this guy, I'm not even saying he's a bad guy. I'm not even saying this is where I think he is like all of us in a way. This guy, everybody thinks he may be above it or he's righteous because he's rich. And he's been successful in the eyes of a lot of people. But he still is not immune to his ego getting hurt. He's not immune to his feelings getting hurt. He's not immune to using power irresponsibly. He is not immune to any of that. He is a human like all of us. And now he finds himself in the old situation called the shoe is on the other foot. Things he has criticized people for, he is now doing. So was it about stopping the behavior or getting control of the situation so he could do what he wants to do? And I think it's more about control. So it, he got booed and, this is what he says. Elon Musk booed off stage while appearing at a Dave Chappelle show. It's almost as if offended, unhinged leftists booed us. Well, we heard the video. I don't know how you know they're a leftist or not, because the one thing I know about Dave Chappelle, people from, I would say, all walks of life like Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Would you agree on that, Mike?
Absolutely.
Has a pretty wide spectrum. There's some people recently that haven't liked him, but unhinged leftists are the ones that probably wouldn't go to a Dave Chappelle show. And I don't have a problem with Dave Chappelle, but some people do because of how he's talked about trans people and things of that nature. I'm not here to debate that. But if there's one place where those unhinged leftists probably wouldn't be, it'd be a fucking Dave Chappelle show. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Such a fucking boomer take, because that's the place they wouldn't be. Now, if you want to say it's quite possible at a San Francisco show, a Dave Chappelle show, that tech people might have been there and they fired, I buy that. But that's my thing. And, now he has all this stuff going on and he's just like, whatever. So, I don't know. I'm bored of Elon. I might not talk about him for a while unless he calls me.
He has caused so much content for this show. That's what he has caused.
Yes, he's the gift that keeps on giving. I'm going to try to finish going through the blue checkmark process for F lettuce. See if I can make it happen. Will they verify that I'm ahead of lettuce? I'm not sure. But we are going to try this chip because I know some of you probably wondering about it. It's this Charcuterie Board chip. And so we got superstar, prosciutto, pepperoni, looks like salami. I'm going to guess some provolone. Maybe some, got some gherkins in the background. So all this is supposed to be in this chip. Let's taste this chip. Let's tell you if it reminds me of anything.
Put it in your mouth. There you go. Chew it up. Make me feel it.
By the way, it's a limited edition flavor. Is it a limited edition? Because
that's not going to last.
Right. And it's probably after 3 months of making it, probably will fucking flood the shelves and be like 2 for 1 or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they do put out some interesting flavors. I don't know what the fuck this tastes like. It just tastes like a random fucking chip of nothing. Like I'm trying to like taste something. Like I almost think like it would have been better off if they had all these different flavors and just put in random chips
using that Godfrey palette. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
that Godfrey palette.
I don't really taste prosciutto. I'm trying to get a one with a lot of that dust, that flavor dust on it. I'm looking at the ingredients. I don't know if it's saying anything fucking special there.
All right.
So if I'm going to give this, we're going to rate this based on how close it tastes to the actual thing, right? And we're going to use a scale 1 to 10.
Okay.
And we can do points, so it could be a 9.2, be a 10.1 or 10.0. And ironically, we're doing this, and I'm wearing a Barstool Sports hat. I wonder if that was on purpose or not. You know,
One bite, everybody knows the rules.
Pizza review. One bite, everybody knows. One chip, everybody knows the rules. Oh, we just made a new shirt. Thank you, Portnoy. So, yes, I did just bite that and put half a chip back in the bag. Like, I wish you could taste this.
I wish you could put it in my mouth.
Yeah. All right, hold on. One chip, everybody knows the rules.
On the 7th chip.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 4.2.
There you go.
It's a low score.
First.
It's we're gonna start getting the graphics up for the scores we give these foods. But here's my thing with this. It's too much for it to handle. They're asking too much of one chip to burst out with so much flavor, and there's so much shit in there. It's almost like when you start mixing like all these sauces together, like ketchup, mustard, whatever, and you just get nothing. Like you're like, what is this now? It's just this hodgepodge of crap, and you're eating it, but you don't know what it exactly tastes like anymore. And I don't know what this even tastes like. There's not one flavor in here that reminds me of a charcuterie board. I don't taste pickle. I don't taste prosciutto. I don't taste anything that reminds me of it. So I think you guys would have been better off doing prosciutto charcuterie board, or salami charcuterie board, and you could probably get a little bit of the cheese taste in there with it and the meat, and do that and just make a series that is a charcuterie board series that had different flavor meats in it instead of putting them all in there. Because really, this chip is what I like to call a UFO, the unidentified, or I'm sorry, a UFC, unidentified flying chip.
Oh,
this thing, you don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what it is. If I'm over your house, Mike, I'll bring one over to you. But these other chips we did, like the pizza one, it kind of tasted like pizza, right?
Those ones were good. The buffalo wing one and the pizza one. Oh,
yeah, fantastic. You got a hint of the buffalo wing. But it's a good idea, hers, that you made this a limited edition, not a forever good flavor like you like to put on your bags, because this is can't recommend it. Sorry. You're probably better off just cooking potato crisps in your oven and sprinkling adobe on it. You might get more flavor that way. I don't know. Adobo. Adobe edits your photos, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to end on that rousing trip review. I know all of you, that's what you watched the show for anyway, not the Elon.
That's what they waited for this whole time.
That's why I did that at the end. That's not even a breadcrumb. That's a fucking whole Amoroso's roll right there. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening in. And thanks for joining us. You know where to find us. We're gonna do a lot more exciting things over the holidays. And every Tuesday taking it deep. You see me Thursdays. Birds Deep at 6 p.m. and then pregame pigskin right after that.
Yep.
So with that being said, this is the Godfrey, not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.